having a strong ops person is like, if I were building a CS team in 2026, that would be my first hire.
Right. Because, all right, the thing that you called out that I think is really important for folks is that the minute you start to try to embed all of these systems into things that are going to drive more automation and more productivity in your business, their level of expertise and their experience is going to be critical. And so, I hope that for all the people that are in ops, that they are treated with respect and care, because they are going to be mission critical for, I think, long-term success in a lot of these companies.
You're listening to Unchurned, brought to you by the Gainsight Podcast Network. Some conversations are easier when you already know each other very well. Today's guest is Kristi Faltorusso. She's a very close friend of mine. She even flew to London for my wedding this summer. She's also my former Unchurned co-host and someone I've spent years thinking out loud with about customer success. Kristi's here with some big professional news. More than that, we talk about what we're both seeing as we head into 2026, the patterns, the shifts, the things starting to feel different. And if you read this week's Unchurned Substack, these themes will sound familiar. This episode is the conversation behind that post. It's a thoughtful one, and a good place to pause and reflect on where customer success is headed next. I'm Josh Schachter. This is Unchurned. We're just going right back into it.
Let's we kick it old school. I like that.
We're just going right back into it. No prep, Kristi. This is it. No. I mean, everybody, welcome to. Stop interrupting me, Kristi. Stop. I'm starting the episode. Hi, everybody. I have a very special. If you couldn't tell from the banter already, we just jumped into it. No prep. 10 seconds in. Kristi Faltorusso, my old co-host, my dearest friend, Kristi. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for texting me at 9:15 and asking me if I'd be ready to get on a podcast in 5 minutes.
Well, we had a cancellation and you were the third person that came to mind. Yeah, exactly. We haven't even checked the audio. How's mine sounding? Yours okay?
You sound wonderful. It's been so long since I've had your head in a little box next to mine.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you sound a little distant, but that might just be emotionally. I don't know, or the mic is too far away.
All right, I moved a little bit closer. Hopefully that helps.
Better. That's better.
Okay.
The audience will appreciate that.
There we go.
And now we can see the mic stand because we want to know who you are. A beautiful new logo there.
Oh, this is actually my old logo. I have some new stuff that's going to be revealed in the coming weeks.
Oh, okay. Okay. What else do you want to reveal? What else do you want to tell us, Kristi? What's going on? We're filming this right now on January 6th. It's actually going to be published tomorrow. So pretty much real time. So what's going on?
So Josh, I love ClientSuccess.
What?
I know, you're so shocked, so surprised. You never saw that coming.
Yeah.
No, after 5 years with Dave and the team there, I decided to step out of the role and step into something new this year, which I've not announced publicly yet what I'm doing.
Until this show.
No,
everybody, Kristi right now is going to tell us.
That's going to happen. I was trying to steal my thunder. But yeah, so after 5 years, I decided that it was time. It was time for me to leave. And I wrote about it in my newsletter this morning, and it's funny because I've gotten a lot of people reaching out after reading that because I think I didn't get it
because I'm not on your newsletter. I'm not on your newsletter.
What's your unsubscribed? You probably definitely
sure,
unsubscribed.
Or spam. But how do I get onto your newsletter?
You go to my website, KristiFaltorusso.com, and you go to newsletter and you go and enter your email address, and that way you'll get it. And then you would have read the beautiful story about my journey to ClientSuccess and then leaving. And honestly, it was one of those things where, I kind of wrote about it and I was like,
why are you leaving?
For all of listen, I'm going to tell you. So for all the other jobs and companies I ever left, it was always clear, right? Like I had a toxic boss, there was lack of growth, the company didn't excite me, something new came along. Those reasons were always super clear. And for the first time in my career, I'm sitting in a role that I loved, that was super rewarding and super fulfilling under a leader who I respected, with a team whom I loved, in a product in a space that I adored. And I decided it was time to leave. And it's crazy because I don't think that a lot of people find themselves in a position where it's like everything seems great. Why would you leave?
Yeah.
And I just got to a place where I think I explored every corner of myself in that role and what was possible for me in that organization. And I decided that, growth doesn't happen when you're comfortable. And I was comfortable, not complacent, but comfortable. And it was time for me to get uncomfortable again.
Well, you're an entrepreneur. You may not be, going and raising VC money, but you are true an entrepreneur, right? In your way, as we can see on your mic stand, and all the brand you've created, but all the great stuff that you've created and are going to continue to create. And I don't even know what you're going to do. You've kept it really buttoned up, so I'm really excited for this unveil that we're going to do on the podcast in a couple of weeks on my podcast.
Oh, okay. So now I have to come back to your podcast and tell everybody
Yeah, it
what's
always
happening?
comes back
Okay.
to
All
me. It
right.
always
You're
comes
so
back to me.
selfish, but it's my favorite thing
Yeah.
about you.
What are you going to miss the most about ClientSuccess?
Honestly, it's probably going to be Dave.
I knew that.
Yeah. And listen, I love my team, but like I still feel like, some of my team members and I had been really close. Some of them worked for me at previous companies. So like our relationships withstand the test of time, right? Like I know them outside of work. I know them not working together. We talk every day, we text. But Dave and I, like, honestly, it was like frickin' frack for 5 years. We traveled the world together.
I
We
thought that's
did
you and me, frickin' frack, but okay.
well, I'll come up with a cute other name for us.
Yeah.
One that makes me adoring and you, Josh. Probably just Josh and Kristi. But yeah, it's Dave. Like we did everything together. I talked to this guy every single day. I mean, outside of my husband, he was the other man in my life. Like we did everything together. He didn't make a decision without me and vice versa. And I don't know, like it takes a long time to build that kind of relationship and that depth, like where he doesn't even have to say anything. I know exactly what he needs, what he wants, and what he wants to do. I know when he's mad, when he's sad, when he's happy. Like there was so much depth to the relationship we built. And I think that that's what I'm going to miss the most is like having access to him every day. I've already texted him like 3 times today because I don't know how to go a day without talking to him.
So let's make that into a lesson. By the way, I love Dave Blake. Like he's one of the nicest, kindest, hearted people in the world. Really astute business person. But that's a dime a dozen. There's lots of astute business people. He is just a really good human being. How did you build that depth of relationship, of trust, of loyalty with Dave?
So that's a great question. Obviously, communication and transparency was key for us. Since day one or day 0 even, I was always very clear with Dave what my ambitions were, what I wanted to do, what my style was, what my boundaries were, and he was equally transparent with me. And I think that level of communication transparency can live with any leader, like any boss you have, like anybody. It doesn't have to be just because we were both in the C-suite together. We had built a really strong level of communication and just our dialogue and our style. The second thing I'd think is how I built the trust. If I stay true to just talking about the trust equation, right? Reliability, credibility, intimacy over self-orientation. Dave already knew what my motivators were and what I wanted to get out of this role long term and what what my ambitions were. But I made sure that I delivered on everything I promised him I would when I joined, right? As far as reliability, he knew he could trust me. I showed up. I did the work I said I was going to do. I did it the way that I outlined I would. I knew the space. I knew our customers. I knew our team. I knew what needed to get done. And we had a really beautiful working relationship together. I never treated him as like a boss. And maybe there's probably lines and limits that other people might want to draw because they're more comfortable with that. But for me, I treated Dave like a friend. And I think what made our relationship so beautiful was that I treated him like a friend. I would never disrespect my friends. I would never not show up for my friends. I would never not do the things for my friends, right? I flew across the country to go to your wedding. I went to your 40th birthday. These are things you do for your friends, right? You show up, you're there with kindness, you're just authentically yourself in a way that makes that relationship really beautiful. And so I think I leaned into that really hard and he responded really well. And I think that was kind of how our relationship grew.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. Congratulations on all the great stuff that you guys did together over those. It was about 5 years, right? Close to 5 years?
Just shy of 5. Yep.
Yeah. I heard the Rolex was coming at 5. You should have stayed a couple more months.
I should have hung out. Anthony will buy me a Rolex.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, Anthony. But no, congratulations. Congratulations on what you guys accomplished. And congratulations on what's next. Give us something. Give us like a teaser or something to nibble on here. If somebody's going to DM you, like what would they DM you about?
I had some interesting DMs come in yesterday, Josh. Like just for the record, like there are some people who our acquaintances. I think it's the best way to kind of categorize them with messages, not congratulating me, not saying anything else. Where are you going next? Like literally that's it. I'm like, you're with a
And this
message
is
like
people
that,
that
you're
want you to
definitely
take.
not getting anything.
This is people that are more junior to you that want you to go with you, or this is people that are senior that want to take you,
No, this is these.
or
I'm
just
not going to be
curious.
overly specific about it, but it's just people in the community who are interested and I think more gossipy and want information rather than it being a genuine curious
Oh
ask
yeah,
of
okay,
where I'm going,
okay,
right?
fair enough.
Which was just really funny to see the different messages that I got. So here's what I will tell you all. No one will be surprised. And I think that's the only teaser that I'm gonna give. I don't think anyone will be surprised when I make the announcement.
Okay.
And I have to give you a
Yeah,
cliffhanger,
it's a
Josh. I
lame
can't really
teaser,
give you
but we'll
too much
take it. We'll
more.
take it. What? So we're a week into the new year. What are you taking with you into the new year? I don't care about your fitness training and like nutrition and stuff like that. I'm talking about like professional. Like what are your what am I trying to say? What are the themes that you're seeing in your prognostications for CS post sales this
Oh
year?
gosh. Oof. Okay. So I didn't know we were doing CS talk here, but
I
okay.
know
Right. It's a
vacation
CS
brain,
podcast.
but you're
It's a
back
CS
now.
podcast. No. I get it.
It
I get it.
is sometimes.
Um, to be honest with you, I think we're going to see some themes continue. I don't know if there's going to be like standout, bold new things. I think there's going to be a lot of continuation of what we saw in the last year. One thing I see that I think is going to happen, we're going to see a big growth around CS ops because I think
Mm,
with the evolution of AI and automation and all of the new things that AI can facilitate, you're going to need people who can build out the systems to go and execute that effectively. So I think that'll
yeah,
be something different. And it may be rebranded and it may have
yeah,
a different sound and different roles, but we're still going to see that and that's going to happen. Something else that I think we're going to see, and that'll be in support of AI, and that's probably going to be how I'll exhaust AI there is just through the ops. I think you're going to see a lot of consolidation around the tech stack. To be very honest with you, we saw it a lot over the past 2 years. I think that's going to continue really strongly into the new year, is that people are thinking about their technology, what they have in front of them. And I think it's twofold. I think one, you've got people that are trying to cut costs and consolidate their budget and streamline things. Then I think you do have other people that want to open up opportunities to bring in new software, probably more in line with things that are going to help them support their AI initiatives. And then the
yeah,
third thing that I'd say, for me, you're going to see just a transformation of roles. I don't think that you're going to see roles go away. You're going to see role scopes evolve. You're not going to see the same JDs that you saw posted over the past 15, 16, 20 years. The customer success role will inherently look very different on paper. Whether that will be true in execution, I don't know just yet. I think it takes a long
yeah.
time to see that level of change. But I think what people are going to be looking for is going to look very different than what they were seeking before.
So CS ops, the growing
Yep.
importance of CS ops is number one. The consolidation in our tech stack and how that's going to impact CS, and then the evolution of the role of the CSM. Totally agree. I wrote, so we have our unchurned
Right.
Substack channel right now that we're launching this winter, and I wrote an article actually last week, or was it this week, that had my kind of trends that I'm seeing and expecting in 2026 coming out of 2025, and those are up there. I mean, um, I spoke to Cassie Young, she's a VC at Primary
Yep.
Ventures, and Kyle Poyer, who's now off on his own as well, but from OpenView, and they were talking about this ERR, experimental recurring revenue, and there's like this apocalypse that's going to come that companies have been playing around with all these AI tools, and there's been this bloat for good reason because it's a fun playground, and we know that there's productivity that we can gain from it, and we're all just kind of learning together. But there will come a point, and I think it will be this year. And who, what do I know, right? But my thinking that it's gonna, and you're gonna see that consolidation,
Yeah.
um, greater than in the past. Not just for budgetary reasons, but again because people have been just kind of tinkering.
Yeah.
And I was talking to our RevOps team yesterday. I'm like, how many go to market tools do we have? He's like,
Right.
I know, right? And like
Which will be
you just alluded to
interesting.
there, you've got like the young AI companies, and everybody wants to give it a try, and they have outbound emails that come to you, and you're like, oh wow, you can do that. And then you realize months later, like, oh wait, there's like 75% overlap in these 10 tools. So I think it's coming. I don't know. How do you think that'll affect CS?
Well, I think it's going to be interesting. And so I want to just, before how that impacts CS, though, I'd be interested to see how that impacts those businesses, because I think that you had an insurgence of revenue coming in, right? People signing new contracts, coming on board, because to your point, they want to try something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential in a lot of these solutions. But then also what you're doing is during that time while they're using it, these big embedded systems that are in the organizations are catching up and innovating twice as fast, right? And so now they're releasing similar functionality. So what's going to happen is that people are going to be like, nope, I already have that functionality in systems that are really embedded into our business. I don't need these point solutions. So I'm actually curious to see what ends up happening to the space of these new platforms, these new products, we'll call them, not even platforms, but what's going to happen, right? Because it won't even be that we need to consolidate them. There won't be a need for them because they've really focused on features and functionality, and they're not real
Yeah.
platforms of transformation.
It's going to come from a couple of angles, right? It's the structural thing of like, okay, they're point solutions, not platforms. The
Yep.
platforms are catching up. It's going to come from the experimental revenue starting to dissolve. There's just natural consolidation across the board in the past half decade. Budgets are still tight. There's going to be headwinds. It will be interesting. But there'll be still great companies that emerge from all this. The other thing you talk about is ops. So I've gotten exposed now. I've been with Gainsight now for just over 6 months. And of course, I'm more kind of on the marketing side and the customer facing side. But I've now been exposed the closest to our customer success through an initiative that we're just kind of getting going. We kind of did it a little bit under the radar during the holidays. And now we're kicking it into higher gas is around some AIification, agentification around a really high value activity for our CS team.
Okay.
I won't say what just yet. We're going to come out with an article on it soon. And I've gotten close to the ops folks through that engagement, through that
Hmm.
project. And boy, like that is the most important thing is to have strong ops people right now to really be able to to just understand all the tooling, to start playing around with all these AI
Yeah.
playgrounds themselves, these spaces, and and they also have to be really strong product owners too,
Yeah.
because now they're starting to develop these feature. If they can, like they're now the builders. So they need that product management instinct as well. I think you're right. I think having a strong ops person is like if I were building a CS team in 2026, that would be my first hire.
Right. Because all right, the thing that you called out that I think is really important for folks is that if these people are already in your organization, they know your tools and systems better than anybody else. So they
Right.
actually understand how it's going to work with these other things, these other tools, other
Right.
systems, workflows, right? They understand the impact of change. And I just feel like that is not power that's recognized or realized just yet for a lot of
Yeah.
companies. But I'm like, the minute you start to try to embed all of these systems into things that are going to drive more automation and more productivity in your business, their level of expertise and their experience is going to be critical. And
Yeah.
so, I hope that for all the people that are in ops, that they are treated with respect and care, because they are going to be mission critical for, I think, long-term success in a lot of these companies.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. And they're the people that have the DNA anyways, that they want to be out there learning about AI, right? Learning how to like vibe code and those sorts of things. The other trend that I'm seeing, or in 2025 that I saw was most successful, or was an attribute of the most successful CS leaders that had the most successful AI adoption and engagements. These leaders, they were leading by example in like diving into AI themselves. They were vibe coding weekends and nights, learning what the different agent spaces are all about, comparing them and being able to really like just not tell their teams, but show their teams. And it can
Yeah.
also start from the bottom up too, right? Those ops people and those CSMs that really are passionate about learning as well. Like that's how you create a groundswell of AI adoption too, is from bottoms up. But I also generally think that like top down leaders need to show by example and like carve out that time for themselves. Liran Yahalomi, she's the VP of CS at Aligned. She does a phenomenal job of this. We spoke to her months ago and she's just got like all of her little agents. Um, she calls them her little people, I think, but like all her agents that she just tinkers with on her Fridays. And she's like been able to scale herself and show her team. How's your vibe coding going? Because I know it's something that you were playing around with in 2025.
Oh my gosh. I built like 4 different products in 2025. Obviously, well, I won't say it's obvious that none of those are coming to fruition, but spoiler alert, none of those are coming to fruition. But they were super cool. In fact, I just went through and consolidated all of my subscriptions because I had one to Replit, to Lovable, to like every single platform that
Yep.
was
Your
available out
ERR.
there. Yeah, I was like, okay, like let's go pay for everything and try them all and see what I like and what works. And to be honest with you, it was a lot of fun. I learned a ton, but the things like honestly, I went back to the ones that were most important to me: ChatGPT, Claude, it's
Yeah.
Gamma. I doubled down into Zapier because of
How do you
the
like Gamma? How do
connections
you like
that you're able
Gamma?
to
I've
do.
heard mixed things about Gamma.
Really?
Well, okay, I've
Okay.
heard bad things about from like our product marketing director who is like that's their job and they're like a professional in this,
Okay,
right?
fine, fine, fine.
Yeah.
For somebody like me who has to crank out decks all the time, whether that be for proposals, for marketing things, for like whatever, speaking engagements, Gamma literally has given me days back in my life, and I've only been using it for a couple months. To be able to take all of my content and drop it in and just have slides automatically be created for me with like all of the visuals that I upload into the system with my branding, with my colors. Like, I don't know, I think if you take some time and really tailor it to what it is that you want it to look like and create your own templates, I think it does a great job.
Yeah.
I've actually just every single person I speak to, I kind of pitch Gamma. So for me, it's a
Okay.
time saver. I understand that if you are a visual person, if you're a brand marketer, that you will poo poo all over this product. But if you're somebody like me who does a lot of stuff on their own, it's a game changer.
You were about to talk about Zapier as well.
Yeah, because I need it to connect all the things to do the things. So I design really cool actions that I want to be taken, and I need something to kind of help me execute and carry them through. I I've been doing a lot of technology cleanup though, so a lot of things that I was working on and putting in place, I had to put some holds on, but,
And any
I'm gonna
leaders
continue
come
to
to mind?
tinker
If
and
not,
play. I'm gonna continue
yeah,
to do
yeah.
this.
No, if not, no problem. But any leaders that come to mind that are doing like a really good job from your perspective on
My
their
gosh.
AI enablement?
Listen, I'm sure that there is a ton. I can't think of any top of mind right now because my brain is not functioning
Yeah.
properly, but I do believe there's a lot of people that are very similar style. Like for me, what I was doing, Josh, is I was allocating an hour a day to learning, whether that be on YouTube videos or watching TikTok videos on AI. I actually found that TikTok had a lot of really great timely content because people can mass create content very quickly. So there's
Oh,
some people
interesting.
out there that are producing a lot of fantastic AI content. And if you're somebody like me with a short attention span, 5 to 10 minute clips at max were like awesome little consumption points. I would write some notes down, try something, and then go about my day. But I would spend an hour a day on either YouTube, on these things, or even just playing myself and building. And that was time really well spent. And I encouraged my team to do it. And a lot of folks on my team embraced it. Some definitely more than others, but I think the ones that did will be, I think, some of the breakout stars in the organization in the future.
If there's going to be a headline for this episode, it needs to be two things, actually. First is go to KristiFaltorusso.com, sign up for her newsletter. Go to
I love that.
unchurned.substack.com, sign up for our newsletter. The second thing
Love that
is
too.
that as a CS leader, as anybody practitioner of any go-to-market function, carve out an hour. Do you really do an hour a day? I'm going to
It's an
call BS a
hour.
little bit on that.
No,
Really?
don't I mean, sometimes more than an hour because sometimes if I find something that's really cool, if anything, it turns into more than an hour because then I start exploring and, like, playing around with it, and then if anything, it turns into, like, 2 or 3 hours.
Then you go to flow mode. Yeah, you're in the zone.
Yeah, like, it's like
Yeah.
once an idea strikes and you're like, "Oh my god, that's so cool," and you start to go play with it, like, I find it harder to restrain myself to an hour, but it's an hour every
Yeah.
day because even if it's not the learning and maybe it's not an hour block straight, Josh, because I have a social media problem and I'm always scrolling, on TikTok. For me, it's like I could be like, I don't know, half hour in the morning and then another hour plus at night. So it was never not enough time. It was actually I wasn't spending not enough time. I was always spending more than the hour.
No, I love that. I love that. I mean, so that's the headline. Like, spend an hour a day. If you can't be an hour, then 20 minutes. Doesn't matter. But like,
I would challenge
consistently
that if
carve.
you're like every leader can find an hour because it doesn't need to be an hour block.
Well, okay. There's context switching and stuff like that. You can't do 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. But fine. Spend dedicated, focused time learning how to play with AI and vibe coding, even if it's just for like your gardening at home. And for some
Yeah,
reason, I've spoken to a lot of people that have gardening stuff that they've built with AI.
that's
I don't know what the
interesting.
trend is there,
Okay.
but yeah. Because it's like the new MBA, right? Like you don't need to go to business school
Yeah.
to become an executive, in the next decade. I don't know. That's a pretty sweeping statement, but like you need to learn the new era here
Yeah, I
and the
mean,
new
listen,
tooling.
everything from like fitness, I've seen people like rebuild their fitness plans using AI. I've seen people just go take pictures of their refrigerator and say like, give me a recipe for something based off of what you see in this photo. Like, honestly, like there's so many fun, unique ways to use it. So if it doesn't interest you to like dive in and nerd out in your discipline, you probably have a hobby. You probably have something you enjoy doing. Make it fun for you so it doesn't feel like learning you don't enjoy.
Yeah. The other thing I talk about in that article is find the person similar to leaders, like find the person in your organization. Maybe it's the ops person, maybe it's like a CSM who is ahead of the curve and is doing their own, I'll say it again, tinkering and learning how to use all this AI stuff and really elevate them, like make them the poster child of the organization, encourage them, feed them with the resources they need. Because I think that AI adoption, like you can't always force it. You have to really kind of like promote it when it's coming organically from those. And I think every organization has that person. There's a couple at Gainsight, Kalpana is one, Brady is another, Elliot is another, right? If they're listening, but like there's a few folks that like, and I know every organization has those folks that are really ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Find those people and and champion them.
Yeah, I would agree. Like I said, there was definitely some standout folks on my team that spent their nights and weekends doing it because they loved it so much. And I feel like those are the individuals that will find tremendous success in this space long term.
All right, you're getting like pinged all over the place. You've got
I
your
know,
10-minute
Josh.
calendar coming
Because
up
I
for your
won't even
11
tell you what's
o'clock.
happening right
I
here.
know,
You're
I know.
laughing.
This is
I
what,
have
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screens in front of me. If we count my phone, that makes it 6. And so
Okay.
that's 6 things that are barking at me right now. None of which I want, if I'm being honest. It's a lot of
So
nosy
Jess,
people. That's what's
so
happening.
my wife Jess, who we went out to brunch with her friends this weekend at
Mhm.
ABCV. Do you know ABCV? It's in Midtown. It's a vegetarian restaurant.
Oh, I definitely would not know
It's
that. I love some meat. No, thank you. Okay.
yes, but like it was delicious. Anyways, um, and her friend was telling us about this thing called a brick,
Oh,
and it's
yeah,
like
and
this.
it stops
Y-
all
y-
of your device. It basically locks down your device,
yes,
and you have to physically go and
yes,
tap your device to this brick and release it to actually use your devices.
yes. You need a brick. I'm
Well,
going to buy you a brick.
honestly, like, it's crazy that we have to live in a world where we have to lock our devices to not use them, that we have so little self-control.
Can I buy you a brick? I mean, I'll do it right now. Like this is the gift for being on the episode.
I
If
mean,
I buy you a
yes,
brick, will
because
you
then
use
I'll
it?
just do content around the brick, and content will be great because then you'll get all of the credit for the brick,
I'll get the
Josh. So
impressions and
yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah. Like
done. You're
you'll
getting
get everything
I've
for
got
the
your
brick.
address. You got the holiday card. I've
Um,
got your address. I'm getting you a
yeah,
brick.
a brick would be interesting. Also very sad for me, but yes. No. So one of the things I started doing, so one of my personal 2026 things, Josh, I went back to reading for fun. Okay. I feel like the past 2 years, I only read whatever book somebody shipped to me because I felt like I
Yeah.
had to. There's some obligatory reading, and it was all business
So which
stuff.
Nancy
And
Drew
I
did you read?
forgot to learn. It's like basically like Nancy Drew. It's Rebecca Yarros, which is like sure. It's more like Nicholas Sparks vibes if I'm drawing on another author. Love story, romance, cheesy, cheeky, probably very predictable. Although everyone says these 2 books that I have queued up have a very interesting ending that you do not anticipate. So we will see. But I'm trying to get back into reading at night for fun. Like, and
Yeah.
just put away my computers for a little bit, put down the phone, and just like remember what it was like to read because I love it.
Yeah. I love that. That's so funny, Christy. Just yesterday, I bought a Kindle. I've never been an e-reader, and
Oh,
was
interesting.
I was browsing LinkedIn. I saw Chad Horenfeld's post, and he was talking about like the virtues of e-reading and this website that he subscribes to that it like takes all your
Goodreads.
summaries, something
Yeah.
like that. I don't know if
Yeah,
that was
it's
it. It
Goodreads.
takes your notes, right?
Yep, I
Yeah,
do it too.
yeah, yeah. So I'm in. We'll see. We'll see. I'm old school. I like the
That's
paper
the thing,
physical.
Josh, is like, I love
Yeah,
there's something about, and I still dog ear my pages, and I know that people are
yeah,
like
exactly.
anti dog
Yeah,
earing, but like, it's something about holding the book and like turning pages and
yeah.
seeing how far I am, and like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Just taking your nose, putting it all the way into the crease of the book and
I bend my book. I can't even
just
do hardcovers.
excel.
I need to like bend it and like
Yeah.
crinks the whole thing and like bend the pages. I'm horrible. Like my books look like
get some
they went to
coffee
the
stains on it.
washroom.
I know. You can't do
But
that
they're
with
so
e-readers.
loved. But the good books that I enjoy, they look loved. And I feel like that's important. So e-readers just don't give me that vibe. And they don't have that smell of a book.
Right.
So for all those reasons, Sharks, I'm out.
This was great. Thanks, Kristi.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.